Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, having fun or relaxing or working, whatever it is. I hope you're having a wonderful day and I hope you're having a positive attitude. Remember, this is Celestial and I'm coming to you with video number 8. I had to stop the other video because I was expecting a phone call and it was a very important phone call. So I had to stop it. They called early. They're not supposed to call yet until 2, but all right. So I'm coming to you with good news that beats the bad news, okay? Because there are lots of bad news in the world, but I'm here to share with you the good news that beats the bad news. And with evidence, I'll show you it's true. It's true. So what you're looking at is Maxims of Law by Charles A. Weisman, right? He collected it, he compiled all the maxims, and I was explaining to you what the maxims are in the last video when I got the phone call. So I'm going to go down to the part where I left off. It's okay, I was probably excited talking about different things. I get excited about, like I said, good government workers, bad government workers, good attorneys, bad attorneys. They exist on both sides, right? So, but I'm talking about the bad ones, the naughty ones, and how they're not allowed to be naughty in front of us because we're going to correct all that. We're going to correct, and we don't need to be violent. We don't need to do anything. But you know why? Okay, our founding fathers, they had to use violence, and it was God is the God of violence. He has violence. He can be very violent and very wrathy. Very wrathy. He's not just a God of compassion and mercy and love and hugs and kisses. He gets angry against evil. He hates evil. Alright? And we are in the image of God. The more we read about him, the more we know about him, the more we get excited to know more about him. And he's just like, give me more about God. I want to know everything about God. Right? We have to know he's a complete God. He's not a God that we create in our image. We are in his image, and he is exactly who he is. We're not going to change him just because we don't like it. I don't like him to be wrathy. Why should he send people to hell? If they were so nice, they didn't do anything wrong. They were perfect people. All they did was not believe in him, not believe in his son. So what's so bad about that? Other than that, they're wonderful people. Why should he put them in that permanent prison, hell? God is who he is. We're not going to change him. He is who he is. He is Almighty God, exactly with all his character, his personality, and his desires and wishes and wants and will. He has his will. He gave us our will, but his will beats our will. He allows us to use our will to show who we are. We are who we are. We make decisions and choices, and we have to live with those decisions and choices, and then he accomplishes his will to save our souls. The ones he's going to save our souls, saves our souls. His will is done. It is not thwarted. So back to that, I want to talk to you about the maxims of law and all the things, and they do, like I said before, they got them from the old English common law, the things that have nothing to do with a king or queen, because then it's not applicable to we Americans, because we don't have a king or queen other than our mighty God, our Father in heaven. He's our king. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's who we answer to. Okay? So they also got them. They got supposedly from Roman law. So I imagine. Do you remember how the Romans had legislated? They had a system in place, and the Roman citizens had rights that even the emperor, had to respect those rights. Okay, so you can find those maxims there too. Now in the Bible, you're going to find oodles and oodles of maxims in there. Principles. They're foundational principles, right? They're precepts. So I talked to you about this in the other video, and I'm going to go down to where I left off before I got a little bit too excited talking about the misbehaving attorneys, because the misbehaving attorneys, not the good ones, I like the good ones. They're so sweet, nice, good attorneys. I like them. But the bad ones, I don't like them. They get on my nerves. They literally get on my nerves. What are you doing on my nerves? Get off my nerves. Well, we're going to get them off our nerves. Okay? The bad ones. Because we're going to understand things that are above what they're using. They're using statutes. Statutes. We have our constitutions. We have our bills of rights, declarations of rights. We have the government servants bound by oath, because we didn't let them work for us until they took and subscribed their oath. And once they took and subscribed their oath and were bound, then we allowed them to work. If they don't do that, if they don't, I don't want to take the oath, I don't want to affirm or swear the oath. Okay, you can't work for us then. Goodbye. There's the door, there's the exit. Okay, so we made sure of that. And if you notice, it's true, check it out. They all have to be, they all have to take their oath, right? They all have to take their oath. So it's true what I'm saying. So now I left off right here, and I was getting all excited. I know, I'm sorry, I got excited. I get excited, but I don't like it when bad people do, harm others. I don't like that. It gets me upset. All right. So if one fails to understand the fundamental principles of law, then there is no end to which he can be misled or deceived about what is right and what is wrong. See, if you don't know the principles, the same thing, you have to know your Bible yourself. You have to read it yourself, because when someone out there says, I will read it to you, I will interpret it for you, and you don't read it yourself, you don't really take a look yourself, you don't know what's in it. How are you going to know what's in it if you don't open it up and read it? And make sure it's the right one. Make sure it's not the old changeo. They do a presto changeo, where they're trying, like I know of some Bibles where they're taking all the pronouns out of it and making it real neutral. I've heard of those plans. That's not good. To take the pronouns out of it. They're there for a reason. So don't take things out, don't put things in, just leave it the way God said it, the way God had it done. And yes, it gets translated, and yes, we are going to be saved. And you know what? We're saved by His Word. We're not saved because so-and-so said it. So when you feel all grateful, I was saved because so-and-so read the book to me and I was saved by so-and-so. No, you were not saved by that guy over there or that gal. You were saved by the Word of God, because His Word is a special word. It goes out and it gives you faith, right? It's a gift of God, right? So that you can't boast. I did it because of me. I was such a goody two-shoes. I did it. I'm so perfect, and that's why I'm spared, and that's why I'm saved. No, because you were given a gift of faith. Now you're able to believe in Jesus Christ. So that's how I understand it. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but prove it to me. So if one fails to understand, the same thing with the Bible, see, the same thing with these principles, you have to understand them. You have to know where they are, what they say, and then how to use them. Now you have them, you know what they are, you know where they are, and now what do you do with them? That's what I'm talking about. That's when we come in. Come on over to our group, because there are a lot of people there writing two things. Ready? How do you exert your powers, right? You're like a metahuman. How do I exert my powers? Shazam, right? A notice. Shazam. The affidavit. A notice, an affidavit. Woo! You can raise your hand and be happy. All right. So you need to know those two things. You need to know how to do a notice and how to do an affidavit. And yes, they are very simple pieces of paper in that they're the wording it is used. It's common English, understandable by non-legal people. You can understand it, you can follow it, and they're not very long. So, and my my weakness is that I like to be too long. And I have to cut back because I don't need a whole I don't need to blow the whole planet up. I just need to, be precise and on target, right? You don't need to blow the whole continent, just on target. And so you don't need to have it loaded with everything on it. And that's what we're going to show you at Dave Jose at Dave Cares for You. Come over here, get on Telegram, and then you'll learn. You'll learn. He gives you a lot of videos for free on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey. You can find him everywhere, all over the place. Dave Cares for You. And then if you want to go deeper, he gives you the webinars. You can join the PMA, where you get to chat with other people. You get to ask questions with other people and untangle things, decipher things, figure things out. You get to explore things, and they get to help you. If they're not busy, they help you, and you help them once you start learning too. You help each other in this private membership association. And in there, you get to learn, and he teaches you extra things that are in-depth, detailed, so good, so powerful. I love it. You should come and see. But if you're just curious and wondering, take a look at one of his free videos and check it out. See it for yourself. You'll know what I'm talking about. You're going to love it. Okay. So, and a little bit more down after the video. I'll talk to you some more about that. So, let's see. So, this is because, back to the preface of the Maxims of Law, it says, this is so because law governs all events and things. Again, you have to repeat some sentences because they're very important. This is so because law governs all events and things that concern our lives. We're surrounded by law. There's law everywhere. God gave us laws. He gave us things, and there are actually more things than in the 10 Commandments, but he gave us the 10 Commandments, and he kept simplifying it for us. And okay, do this. We tend to be stubborn, don't we? And we tend to not listen. We want to explore our own things and do things our own way, and we shouldn't do that. I mean, it's okay to explore things while you're careful not to disobey God in the things that he told you to not disobey him in, right? You're free to do everything, because he likes you to be free, but he wants you to obey the things he put concretely to you. Don't kill Abel. Don't murder your brother, your sister. You know what I'm saying? You don't run him over with your car, and don't poke them with a stick. Don't harm them. Don't harm each other. Don't take their wallet. Don't take their stuff. Be nice, okay? You guys get along, huh? Do it because for the glory of God. Be good to each other. So we can be free and do whatever we need to do, remembering the law of God. And the common law, that's the law of the land, of the whole United States of America, and actually of the world. But since a lot of people, they unfortunately have tyrants and kings and queens and all these rulers and dictators, they don't get to use their rights because they don't band together. They don't do, what we did here in America and abolish an evil government, an evil, the strings. We cut the strings from that evil. Well, he was evil to us. We considered it so evil that we actually took our guns and pointed at him, right? He sent his soldiers, his poor soldiers, to do that. So that's what I'm talking about. We did that, but other people are not exerting. They're not defending their rights. And we don't have to do that right now, because all we have to do is write a notice, an affidavit, and we have the entire law on our side, and they do not. The servants that are not good servants, that are oath breakers, they do not have the law in their hands, but we do. We have the ultimate law, and now we are going to teach you guys, going to learn how to exert your rights with these notices and affidavits. So powerful. Come look. if you want to win. If you don't mind losing, then go ahead and, as you were, go on your way. But I don't want to lose. I lost too many things. I don't want to lose anymore. No way. No, it's not fun. Not fun. The way they do to us is not fun. It doesn't make for a nice day. Okay, this is let's see. Clearly, back to the preface. Clearly, a failure to have a practical understanding of the maxims of law could lead to grievous errors in our actions, no less so than the errors resulting from one's ignorance in the principles of any other science. If you don't know science, everything's a science. If you're learning something, if you're studying something, okay. This is a science of learning what the law is and what our rights are. Oh, someone's home. All right, so it says here, maxims of law, like any other fundamental laws, always hold true. Always. And you can't use that word all the time, but here you can. Always hold true and yield the same results under the same conditions. See? This is, you could highlight this when you get your book. Highlight that because that's really important. All right? Thus, the application of a maxim to a case before the court is generally the only question, not its validity per se. So in other words, they're valid by the statement itself, and the maxim, that is valid, that is true, that you cannot argue against, you can't pick it apart and destroy it. It is universally accepted. All right? That is reasonable. It was by reason and logic. The only thing they can argue is that, does it really pertain to that case? Well, you're talking about this right or this maxim, but does it belong to what you're talking about? They can argue that, but not that the maxim itself is true, because the maxim's already accepted as true. Okay? So the true method of making the application is to ascertain how the maxim arose and to consider whether the case to which it is applied is of the same character, or whether it is an exception to an apparently general rule. Further, the understanding or application of a particular maxim may involve the consideration of other maxims, which may guide or clarify its correct meaning or application. In other words, you take the maxim that you need to express your right, you take that, and if you have others to help it, clarify it, guide it, so they can't wiggle out. You can throw a few more in, you can put two more in there, you can have either 2 or 3 on the same topic, because it may guide or clarify its correct meaning or application. See? It's the same like when the Bible interprets the Bible. If you don't understand something in the Bible, you have to first of all read the whole entire thing, and then when you read it again, as you're bumping into things that you have a question about, now you can look at other things you've read and compare them and see, oh, this is what they mean by that. This is what is meant by that. Then the words explain other words, right? Definitions are in there already. So the Bible helps you interpret the Bible, right? That really does, it's true. And then the maxims, when you see other maxims and you see the Constitution, the Bills of Rights and Declarations of Rights, and you see the Bible principles, that helps to interpret those things. It clarifies them. It guides you to the correct meaning of the maxim. And it cannot be argued against. It is a fact. It is true. It is accepted. Okay? So you win. You see how you can win? You see, guys? Oh my goodness, you guys. And it's a skinny book. Look it. I'm serious. Get it. It's okay if it, you say it's a little expensive, you think, but you may think that, but you're going to save so much. If you know the truth, you're going to save so much because they won't be able to take your stuff anymore. And if that's going to save you thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then it's going to save you heartache. It's going to save you days of rainy, cloudy eyes, right? So just go ahead and get it. It's valuable, and that is my recommendation to you, for you to get it. All right, so in this work, I have endeavored, back to the preface, it says here, so thus, certain situations may involve two or more principles of law, which would need to be considered in determining the way the law works or is applied. So one sometimes is so clear. I mean, they're pretty clear. There's just a few that, because they used to speak a different way than we speak now, they might be a little different. Like for your mind, but then you look up the words and you know what it is. You look up up at the other maxims and you know what it is. You know what they're talking about, right? But if they want to wiggle out and say, oh, I don't understand it, well, then you throw another one or two in there, and that you can't wiggle out of it. It's clear what it is saying, right? Like things that are unconstitutional, right? They're void. Things that are not done correctly by the law, they're void. So, I mean, I need to finish memorizing them all because they're that important to memorize them. But since we're already familiar, we know they're there. Oh yeah, I remember there's one that applies to that. You already read it, you already know, oh yeah, I know it's in there. And we look for it. And it's in this book, it's divided into subjects, like topics, and you can find it under that topic, right? So go ahead and get that. Here's the author. In this work, I have endeavored to point out the more important legal maxims of practical use. So that means there are others that he didn't include in here. There are others he didn't include. They're out there, but this is the more important. And then an effort was also made to eliminate those maxims of the English law, which are not applicable to American law. They're not applicable because we don't have a stinky king, a human stinky king. Because I don't like human kings. I only want to have, I am only glad that I have God as a king. I don't like a king telling me what to do, and if he's going to be in a bad mood that day, I'll be under his whims. I don't want that. American people don't want that. They don't like it. No, they don't like it. They're not going to have it. As a matter of fact, they don't like it so much, they fought against that king to cut his ties from us. And then they made sure that we never could have another king. That's why we have separations of powers. That's why we have the three branches, right? And we told them mandatorily, it's mandatory, the separation of powers. One guy can't do the work that the other guy does. In other words, this guy over here in the executive branch can't act like he's a judge. Uh-oh. And if they are doing that, they're breaking that separation of powers rule that's in the constitutions, that we said not to do that or else it's treason. Uh-oh, better not do that. I hope they're not doing that. So go look and see if they're doing that, right? Go look and see if they were obedient and they kept the separation of powers. Just go check it out if they did that. And if they did, yay, they listened. They're good servants. They didn't break their oaths. But if they mixed it and mingled it, then they're naughty, and they're worse than naughty, they're oath breakers, and they're committing treasonous acts, right? Look out, folks, don't be treasonous. It's no good. All right, so it says here, understanding the principles of law in this book can put one at a definite advantage in whatever his endeavors, since so many aspects of our lives are affected by law. See that? If you understand these principles, you are a winner. You can win now, see? Because now you can point it out. Where'd you get that right? What are you talking about? You have rights. What rights? I have rights. I have rights. Right in there. And in their constitutions, Bill of Rights. But you have to know how to find them. You have to do it. Okay, so do this, guys. Let's get into this. Just get all excited. Let me show you a few that will be found in there so that you can see how wonderful this is. This is Maxim 51.0. And it says, all political power is inherent in the people by decree of God. Thus none can exist except it be derived from them. That's an American maxim. See that? Maxim 51.0. So that's how they're listed. They have a number because it goes to that topic, and then they have a letter. As many as he includes in that section, he'll have another letter. So they're easy for you to find. They're easy for you to use. And they're pretty much one sentence. The majority is one sentence, and a few are two sentences. But the majority is one sentence long. You guys can help your teenagers learn this. They're going to be fantastic at helping you protect your rights and protect their own rights. So when they grow up happy, safe. You guys, love your kids. Protect them. Don't let them be taken away from you unconstitutionally without a trial by jury. Don't do that. Now you know. Now you know. Hey, did an attorney tell you that was supposedly defending you and making sure that you didn't lose your child? Did they tell you that, oh, no one can ever take your kid from you if there's no trial by jury, and then they see, the jurors see that there's reason to take it from you, your child. If there was no trial by jury, and if the judge made an order and there was no trial by jury, uh-oh, judge, did you go to sleep that day? Did you not study? Were you absent? Well, you didn't attend school that day, and you didn't learn that you can't take someone's child without a trial by jury, and you can't do an order for child support because it's not in the Constitution. There's nothing in the Constitution that says you have the right that if we steal your kid and put him over there, now we'll get to steal your money too. It's not constitutional. Where's the trial by jury? I want to know. Tell me, where's the trial by jury, and how do you get to not let the people have a trial by jury? Prove that it is granted to you in the Constitution that you can go ahead and take away the people's rights to a trial by jury, which is sacred and inviolate forever. Sacred and inviolate and inviolable forever. You get to take it away on your own for fun, for a special reason that you have to yourself. Okay? Can't do it, you guys. Can't take your stuff. Oh, it's because they can be so mad. You know what? I don't like them because I don't like the ones that take away kids from the parents because they do it without authority of law, and that's no good. Kids need to be with their mama and their papa, and if there's a divorce, they still need to have a trial by jury. The judge can't make an order without a trial by jury. No, it does. That's not how you play the game, folks. That is not how you play the game. Call them out. Maxim 51P. The main object of government is the protection and preservation of personal rights, private property, and public liberties, and upholding the law of God. That's American Maxim 51P. See how these maxims, how can they argue with this? How are they going to argue with this? That's the main object of government. Protection and preservation of personal rights. That's your individual rights, right? And your property, your stuff. And public liberties. Upholding the law of God. Now, Maxim 51R. This is a frequent recurrence to fundamental principles and a firm adherence to justice, virtue, and original law. Remember the word original law. All these words are indispensably necessary to preserve the blessings of liberty and good government. That's an American maxim. That's Maxim 51R. See, look at these are a frequent recurrence to fundamental principles. You have to read these, guys. You have to read this because this is going to help you to be, because you're already winners, you just don't know it and you're not acting like it. So you just, they're under oath and duty bound, and they have the word treason hanging over their head, right? That if they harm your rights, if they fall into this certain little category, they can qualify for the situation of treason. Okay, now the last little part, I'm going to read to you the Arizona State Constitution, Article 2, text of Section 1, Fundamental Principles, Recurrence 2. All right, it says, a frequent recurrence to fundamental principles is essential to the security of individual rights and the perpetuity of free government. All right, and let's see, I'm going to copy it right here because I know I copied it and pasted it right here. But what if you don't believe me, and what if you think that I made that up? So I'm going to go ahead and paste it right here and show you that's on the internet. Okay, there it is. I put the link there, and there it is. It pops up. This is and then I want which one? This is section Arizona, and then section 1, Article 2. Is this Article 2? Let's see if I did the Article 2 stuff. There it is. Okay, so it is Article 2, Arizona Constitution, and then it says Section 1. Here it is. This is the address of where you're going to find your principle, your constitutional principle. And this is the address, the link, things, you can find it. Look at what it says. A frequent recurrence to fundamental principles is essential to the security of individual rights and the perpetuity of free government. You see how it's there? I mean, literally, it's there. There it is. You see it for yourself. I'm not making it up, you guys. And then you could look it up straight into the government and get the actual constitution from the government. And they have to have it. They have to have it there. So this one, the reason I like this one is because look how easy it is to find everything. They even section it off for you. It's easy to read. You know, they do a good job. I like that. Thank you, Ballotpedia. We appreciate your good work. Okay, guys. The end. Not just for this video. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and God bless you, God protect you. See you soon via the video. I hope you're learning this. I hope you want to be a winner and you do what it takes to be a winner, to learn your rights where they are, right? That you have them, and then where to find them, and then how to use them. You have to learn these things, okay? God bless you, God protect you. Let me turn this off right here. Stop.